Okay, thank you everyone for coming here today. This is the spiritual hypnosis with didgeridoo. The goal here is just to see what, I didn't see you, Cindy, hey, how are you doing? So what we're doing is a group hypnosis with the goal of just kind of like getting to a, come on in, please come on in, either breaking through blockages, maybe loosening our energy up, raising our energy, making spiritual progress. And I do want to talk just a little bit about hypnosis because it tends to be misrepresented in films and television. So, what is hypnosis? Now, hypnosis is basically a process that enhances the communication and the connection between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Okay, and that's really important. That harmonizes your whole being and makes you a whole person. Not having that connection can lead to like neuroses and self-destructive behavioral patterns. But really, that goal of enhancing the connection between the conscious and the unconscious that's pretty common to a lot of spiritual modalities and paths. Like mindfulness meditation, the idea is to expand your conscious awareness to the point where it encompasses everything that's going on around you, including anything in your unconscious mind. This is just a bit of a different way of getting to the same thing. Now, there's some advantages to spiritual hypnosis, which is kind of like an undervalued spiritual modality. Mindfulness meditation can often take a lot of discipline, a lot of patience and time to get some results from it, whereas with hypnosis, you can often go to a very deep level on your first time. And people who I've used this with who are actually already experienced in meditation and have a regular meditation practice, they've said that like with spiritual hypnosis, they can actually go deeper into the meditative state because they don't have to guide themselves. They can basically totally let their conscious mind out of the driver's seat, listen and go really deep into it. And also, I would say, I do recommend sitting in a chair. If you want to sit in a cross-legged position, that's fine. If you feel it's easier for you to lie down, that's fine too. The one thing about lying down is if you think you might fall asleep, it'd be better to sit in a chair. Otherwise, do whatever is most comfortable for you.
And just a quick note for some people who came in a little later, taking off your shoes and being barefoot is probably recommended just because the didgeridoo will come in from the bottom, from the floors, so you can absorb it more appropriately through your feet.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have a rubber, shield there between the vibrations in your skin.
Yeah.
So just a suggestion, of course, you don't have to if you don't want to.
That can help too, yeah. Because it's not just about the hypnosis, it's about the didgeridoo as well, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I kind of like to talk about hypnosis because people sometimes have fears of hypnosis, which I just want to say, there's nothing to fear. It's very safe, it's very natural, it's completely natural because there's no drugs involved, there's no gadgets involved. It's basically the same kind of twilight state that we all go through every night as we're falling asleep. We just don't tend to notice it. Now, as to what it may feel like, it might feel like a daydream, like a very vivid daydream. It might feel like a lucid dream. It'll probably feel like a very deeply meditative state. Now, it's possible sometimes, especially if this is your first time with hypnosis, it might be so subtle that at first you don't recognize that you're experiencing anything different. If that occurs, though, I would just say, don't really worry about it because the session starts off at a little bit of a lighter state of hypnosis and then it gets progressively deeper as it goes along. And really, the thing is, studies have actually shown that whether or not you feel like you're hypnotized, you actually get the results. Or, I mean, it doesn't really matter if like what you are feeling matches what you are expecting to feel or think you're supposed to feel. You still get the results either way. And the big thing that I want to say is that like what you kind of want to avoid is maybe like 20 or 30 minutes in, having the conscious mind say, am I hypnotized? Am I doing this right? Maybe I'm not doing it right. Because if you bring back the conscious mind like that, it can actually pop you out of hypnosis. But that's also not too big of a deal because hypnosis is actually a very forgiving state. If you do find that you pop out for a second or two, or your eyes open, it's really easy to get back into it. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, just listen to my voice, and you'll just go right back into the hypnotic state. Now, it's very safe because your unconscious mind is always protecting you. And basically, what we're doing in hypnosis is we're just kind of quieting down the conscious mind so the unconscious mind can be more open. But your unconscious mind is always protecting you from doing anything that might harm you or someone else, or doing anything that might violate your morals. There's actually a case of like a stage hypnotist, and he had a bunch of people on stage doing silly things like, talking like a Martian or something, and then he asked them to all do the hula dance. And this one woman was just standing still and not dancing, and the hypnotist walked over to her and said, you seem to be having fun with everything. Can I ask you why you're not doing the hula with everyone? And she said, well, dancing is against my religion. So your unconscious mind is always on watch for anything that might, violate any deeply held beliefs. So your unconscious mind is always in control. There's nothing to worry about there. The only way hypnosis works is basically I give you instructions on how to get there, and then you follow them. There's no special power or anything. There's no special power to make you go into trance. It's kind of like, you get a sofa from IKEA. You got to follow the instructions, put it together. And so I basically just give very simple, easy to follow instructions, and if you follow them, you go right down to this very pleasant hypnotic state. Visualization is not necessary. Some people have a hard time creating pictures in the mind. Most people, like if I ask you to picture a red car in your mind, most people can do that. Other people have some hard time with it. But that's actually okay, because even if you can't picture a red car in your mind, you can imagine a car. You can imagine driving the red car. You can imagine hearing the roar of the engine or smelling the new car smell. So, and the reason I mentioned to this is because our language is very visual. We use a lot of visual metaphors. But if I'm describing something visually, you can still imagine what you would feel through either other like hearing or smell, or you can just imagine what it would feel like, just to be doing what I'm describing or to be there. And I want to talk about the didgeridoo a little bit. The reason why we're doing this with the didgeridoo is because hypnosis, basically works through talking. It's very mental. Your brain is following the steps to get there. But with the didgeridoo, it's a very ancient instrument, one of possibly the oldest in the world, and it's very connected to the Aboriginal Australians, their sense of nature, their spirituality, their dream time. And so just listening to the vibrations can actually take you into that hypnotic state by itself. So we're combining them to really give you the most impactful experience. Kind of like approaching the hypnotic state both mentally and physically through the didgeridoo's vibrations resonating in your own body. So let me give you, I want to do like this a very short hypnotic session before we do the main one, just to give you a sense of what it feels like, and also because this is actually a really easy exercise that you can do at home by yourself if you ever want to gather your thoughts, get your energy together, or just kind of calm a bit. So I'd like everyone to just kind of put your hands in front of you like you're holding a volleyball. And pay attention to the feeling on the palm of your hands. And pay attention to the energy between your hands and how that feels. And notice if you bring your hands closer together, that energy starts to compress. And if you bring your hands farther apart, the energy expands. And if you kind of like bring them back and forth a couple times, you really get a feeling for where that energy starts to compress. And you may also notice there's a certain color to that energy. There may or may not be. There may be a certain sound or tone to that energy. Or a certain shape or the way it plays over on your hands, a certain texture. And the more of those characteristics that you can find in that energy between your hands, the stronger it becomes. And now you can just take it and release it up into the air. And that was hypnosis. Okay, but there was no pocket watch swinging or no, you're getting sleepy. But what we did is we took your conscious attention and focused it on an unconscious process, the energy in your body. And so that takes us to a very light state of hypnosis. And that's just an easy thing that you can do on your own if you ever want to. But I like to give that as just kind of just a quick example of like how easy it is to get there. Hypnosis is not like a strange, totally different thing. It's just a different kind of a different degree of ordinary consciousness. So I didn't need to remind people, if you need to use the restroom, now's a good time. We're going to be, because we're going to be here for like 40 minutes or so. Definitely mute or turn off your cell phones, something I got to remember as well. And so let's just give everybody a second to do that. And I'll shut the door because I think everybody's, thank you. So basically the takeaways from that whole intro are that hypnosis is just totally safe, totally natural. Just let go of your expectations. Don't worry about whether or not you're hypnotized. Just let yourself feel whatever arises. Okay, so are there any questions before we begin? Okay, great. For those of you who might be sort of like can't see me because of the angle, that's fine. Your eyes will be closed. Your eyes will be closed most of the time. As long as you can hear my voice, that's the thing that matters. So let's just take a second and let everybody get settled. Okay, great. So go ahead and focus on the wall behind me. And actually focus maybe about 3 or 4 feet beyond the wall. And just imagine that right there you can see or imagine this really just beautiful, comfortable, safe place, all of your own. Just this safe, relaxing place. And that can be whatever that is to you. A garden or a beach, maybe a mountain forest, whatever that is to you is safe, comfortable, and relaxing and happy. Just focus your eyes there, and in a moment I'm going to count down from 20 to 1. And with each number, you'll close your eyes, and in the pause between numbers, you'll briefly open your eyes. And you don't have to remember that. I'm going to give you instructions throughout. But with each number, that safe, happy place will become more and more vivid. Whether you can see it or not, whether you just imagine it, it will become more and more vivid, more and more real. So 20, close your eyes. Let all the little muscles around your eyes and eyelids just relax, just take a break. And open your eyes. 19, close your eyes. Letting that relaxation spread all through those little muscles of the eyes and eyelids. Spreading over your face. Let the muscles in your jaw just go slack and relaxed. A very slack and relaxed jaw will relax your whole body. And open your eyes. 18, close your eyes. Just focusing on that really safe, happy, relaxing place beyond the wall. And letting the relaxation spread all over your head, down your neck. Open your eyes. 17, close your eyes. Let the relaxation spread over your shoulders and down your chest. Open your eyes. 16, close your eyes. Just deeper and deeper relaxed with every number, deeper and deeper relaxed every time you close your eyes. And just still focusing all your attention on that wonderful, safe, happy, relaxing place beyond the wall. And open your eyes. 15, close your eyes. Relaxation spreading down your chest to your belly. Just gentle waves of relaxation. You can feel the muscles beginning to loosen up. And open your eyes. 14, close your eyes. Deeper and deeper with every number. Just your eyes guiding you down. Focusing on that safe, relaxing, happy place. And open your eyes. 13, close your eyes. Relaxation spreading down to your hips and thighs. Down to your calves and feet and toes, your whole body really just being bathed now in these just nice, relaxing waves of relaxation. Open your eyes. 12, close your eyes. You might even imagine yourself just floating along this gentle stream of relaxation. And open your eyes. 11, close your eyes. You might find that your muscles start to relax and release energy. You might find there may be even a muscle spasm or two. That's fine. That's your muscles releasing tension. And you'll find little tensions here and there just start to melt away and dissolve and become released. And open your eyes. 11, close your eyes. Deeper and deeper down. And now mentally relaxing as well. Just imagining a little pebble just sinking through the still waters of a deep pond. Just deeper and deeper the little pebble just falls pleasantly through the water. And it just feels so good all over, really. And open your eyes. 10, close your eyes. You might find it becomes harder to open your eyes with every number. You might find that your eyes just don't want to do much of anything. Your eyelids might just start, just falling asleep on their own and relaxing deeply, and that's totally fine too. But if you can, try and open. And 9, close your eyes. Deeper and deeper down, just following your breath, following the vibrations of the didgeridoo, focusing on that safe, happy, relaxing place. And open. And 9, close your eyes. Deeper and deeper down, just follow the nice rhythm of relaxation. And open. And 8, close. Deeper and deeper with every number. And you'll find that every word that I say just starts to take you deeper into this pleasant relaxation. Because every word is a word of relaxation. And open. And 7, close. Deeper and deeper. And sometimes the words I say may not make rational sense to your conscious mind, but your unconscious will pick up everything that it needs, and will just go deeper relaxed with every word. And open. And 6, close. Deeper and deeper down. Just really start to enjoy noticing all the characteristics of that safe, happy place beyond the wall, and how enjoyable it is just to witness it, just to notice it and observe it, and open, forward, close, deeper and deeper down, just relaxing deeper and deeper all the way down. Because knowing that in hypnosis there's no limit to what you can do, no limit to what might happen. So just let go of expecting things to make rational sense so that you can discover abilities you have that don't necessarily make rational sense. You may find things that help you the most of all that don't make that much sense to your conscious mind. But let go of that as we go deeper and open, free, close, deeper and deeper down. Finding yourself really enjoying a pleasant state of relaxation, just focusing on that safe, happy place, and open, close, down to one, and this time open only your inner eyes, just to focus even more on that safe, relaxing, happy place. And if you have not yet moved inside that happy place, if you're not sitting there, then go ahead and move inside that safe, happy place. In your mind, you can walk there, you can even float there. Just get into that happy place, get into a nice, comfortable position, just sitting there, surrounded by the beauty and the comfort, and just the joy of it and how good it feels. And just listen to the didgeridoo playing along. And in a moment you'll hear just the didgeridoos playing. And as you do, just let yourself relax to the sounds and the vibrations, just sitting there in your safe, happy place. Still sitting in that safe, comfortable place, just notice that on the far side of this relaxing, safe place is a door. So just go ahead and walk over to that door, open the door, and you'll see a long hallway there in an ancient building. So go ahead and start walking down this hallway, and you have this feeling as you're walking down the hallway of being in a very old, very ancient building with a really great, long history. And many things have happened here, many stories have happened here over the years and the centuries. And you have this sense that this is a place where anything is possible. In fact, many people have had powerful discoveries and revelations here. And as you walk down the hall, you sense that time is slowing down. There's no rush for anything here. Everything is peaceful and moves at a much slower pace. And there are many doors along the hallway, but you just keep walking down, and then up ahead you see a door with a sign over it that says Earth. So just stop in front of that door, open the door and walk through, and now you find yourself standing in the middle of just these beautiful green rolling hills. And there's lush flowers and plants by the side of a well-used dirt road. And in the distance you see a forest of dark green trees. The sun is shining down with a pleasant warmth, just the pleasant warmth of the late afternoon. And up ahead you see these gentle rolling hills become large mountains covered in forest. We go ahead and walk down the dirt road, and before long you see a small cottage built into the side of a hill. The front of the cottage faces the road and looks like something out of a fairy tale storybook. The roof is covered with earth and grass, and the sides of the cottage are the sides of the hill. And there seems to be something fascinating about this humble cottage. So go ahead and walk closer. You see something written above the door in ancient runes. You can't really read the runes, but they have this very exotic, ancient look to them. And go ahead and just reach for the door, knock on the door, and a very kindly looking old woman opens the door. Says, "Good afternoon, I've been expecting you. Just follow me." She leads you into the cottage, which, although it's small, it's just as quaint and charming inside as it is outside. There's a dark wooden table at the center of the main room, and there's a very old deck of tarot cards on the table. And the tarot cards, even though they're very old, they seem to give off some kind of glow, some kind of magic that captures your attention. And as you stare at the deck of cards, you find yourself going into a kind of trance. As you look at them, you notice the card on top of the deck. There's a picture of a gold disc with strange writing on it. And the disc is surrounded by green and golden stalks of wheat. It gives you the feeling of something that has emerged naturally from the earth, just like this cottage. And the old woman asks you, "Would you like a tarot card reading?" So go ahead and tell her yes. And then you can take a seat at the table. The old woman sits across from you and asks you to just kind of like cut the cards, shuffle them a bit. And she takes the cards and lays one down on the table. It's the same one you saw on top of the deck, the gold disc surrounded by stalks of wheat. And she says, "This is the Ace of Coins. It represents everything that comes from the earth. Wheat, metal, grass, mountains, and trees. It represents both the natural, bountiful harvest and wild nature. It's the power and nurturing force of all the earth." And as she describes the meaning of the card, you can actually feel inside your body what she's describing. Imagine a young oak sapling, thin, green, vulnerable to the elements, but nurtured by the rain, the sun, and the fertile soil. And it grows year over year as it matures into a massive oak tree, living century after century, just witnessing the slow pace of the world changing over time. And there's a great power here. And the tree repays the generosity of the soil by providing leaves for the animals to eat, shade for them to rest in, and branches for them to run and hide in. And as the woman describes the tree, you can feel inside your own body, your own muscles, your own cells, the strength of the tree. You can feel inside yourself how it pulls energy from the ground and the sun, how it connects deeply through its roots to the earth, completely at peace because nothing can disturb it. You feel this great depth and primal understanding contained in the tree. And you feel the same deep connection to the earth and to nature that the tree feels. You feel the tree's been benevolent strength and power. You feel yourself growing stronger inside, strong as the mightiest oak tree. And the woman speaks again. She says, imagine the mountains, strong, immovable, as if the earth itself is in a deep meditation that cannot be disturbed. The mountains provide a home to many plants and animals and have a powerful sense of majesty about them. And as she describes the mountains, you feel yourself going into a deep meditation like the mountains. Powerful, relaxed, completely undisturbed by small things, but having a deep compassion for all the living things around you. And now the old woman takes another card from the deck, and she plays it down next to the ace of coins. And she says, this is the king of coins. And the card shows a man in armor sitting on a horse, looking off into the distance. Behind him is a mountain, and in the background are the rays of the setting sun. And she speaks again and says, he represents all the power of the earth. The king of coins is the power of the earth, but embodied in human form. He is gentle, slow to anger, but moves with the strength of mountains when needed. His horse is standing in a field of wild grass and gently looks out at you with friendly curiosity, because the king of coins is a friend to all plant and animal life. And now imagine yourself, says the old woman, as the king of coins. He is the protector of all that comes from the earth and lives off the earth. His connection to the earth, the land, is deep as the root of the largest trees, as deep as the rock beneath a massive mountain. And the card shows him in deep meditation. And looking at it, feeling it, you can feel this depth of meditation as he gazes at the sun setting behind the mountain. And he is at one and at peace with the environment around him. And the king of coin meditates deeply, so deeply you can feel his meditation, this connection to the earth. And you can feel your own connection to all of nature as you connect with the king of coins. This connection with nature is something you feel deeply inside, just in the fibers of your muscles. This connection to the earth exists. And you feel a sense of calm, like an unmovable mountain, grounded, connected with this ancient, eternal feeling of great peace and beauty. And even though the king is peaceful and meditative, sometimes he must act to protect the natural world that is under his care. And when he does, he moves swiftly and strongly to take down anyone who would harm the natural world and the animals and plants that live in it. And the king of coins, as protector of nature, also creates great beauty from nature. His people in his kingdom make instruments out of the trunks of hollow trees. These are the didgeridoos of his people. And they play these didgeridoos to express the power and nature of beauty. And if you listen now, you can hear these didgeridoos playing. And just listen as the didgeridoo sings and draws you deeper into this meditative state. whenever you have to deal with challenges in your own life. And imagine having his depth of calm and his powerful strength. And the old woman then takes a third card from the tarot deck and lays it next to the Ace of Coins and the King of Coins. And this card shows a magnificent chalice, this beautiful blue cup that is overflowing with life and energy. And she says, this is the Ace of Cups. This card represents all the power of water, of feeling and emotion. And in this card, energy and power and joy radiate in all directions from the cup. And happiness and emotion are overflowing from it. It is a vessel of pure joy. And this vessel, this joy, this is the reward for the King of Coins for his careful and conscientious stewardship of nature. Because he protects the animals and the plants in the land, he's rewarded with the pure joy and happiness of the overflowing cup, this nurturing water of life that is pure emotion, pure feeling. And the Ace of Cups is your reward for your journey. It is the place where you can find pure spiritual bliss. And she asks you to feel the essence of the card. Starting from the toes on your feet, begin to feel this irrepressible sense of joy and bliss, like sparkling blue water in the sea starting to fill up your body. You can feel your toes just filling up with this blissful blue energy. This energy of pure joy, and it spreads up to your calves, just this wonderful blue, radiant feeling of joy. You can feel all that joy of bliss now spreading to your thighs, just filling every cell with love, with feeling, with joy and bliss, just pure, unadulterated, just wonderful feeling. And it spreads up to your belly, filling it up in your chest with all this feeling of emotion, of love, just pure love, just all filling up, spreading now to your neck, your shoulders, down your arms, then your face and your head, your whole body full of this wonderful feeling, full of this love of joy and bliss, and just this pure love. And it feels so good, it is unstoppable. It's like nothing can bother you now. This feeling of joy is so powerful that nothing can make you feel anything less than wonderful. Because you have this secret joy, this special joy, this bliss of pure love inside that is more powerful than anything else, more powerful than any challenge you might face. And this bliss, this joy, this is yours to keep. You can put your hand over your heart and you'll feel the joy even stronger, because this is the joy of love, of nature, of the world, of feeling, of pure love. And whenever you want to feel this again, all you need to do is put your hand on your heart, and this joy will just come back to you, flooding back through your body and mind. And the old woman says, the cards, the tarot have shown you your path. Connect to nature, protect nature, and you experience the joy of life, the bliss of just existing and being, of being able to just notice how wonderful it is to just exist, to just be. She picks up the tarot cards and puts them back in the deck. Thank you for visiting my humble home, she says. Now, go out in the world. Take this message of the tarot cards with you. Live with this power, this grace, this naturalness, and this love and joy. So just let yourself thank the old woman, show gratitude to her, tarot card reading. And now it's time to walk back out of the cottage, experiencing your connection to nature that the old woman talked about. And as you walk out of the cottage, there again is the dirt road in the countryside. But now the sun is setting, and there's a subtle radiance and glow to everything around you. As you walk down the dirt road, there are hills, trees, grass, and flowers all around you. And you can feel your connection to all of this, all of nature. And ahead on the hill, there's a field of wild grass. And there's some wild goats grazing the grass. And as your feet walk on the dirt path, you feel connected to the ground, connected to the earth beneath you, connected to the grass in the field, and to the goats grazing the grass. And one of the goats looks up at you with its large, peaceful eyes, and you feel that connection with the goat, as both of you are part of the same natural world. You both exist in nature and joy and love. And as you continue walking, the road gets a little bit steeper, but it's still easy to walk on the dirt road. The hills are getting higher now, and you're starting to enter the mountains. And you feel a connection with the mountains too. You feel connected to their strength, their power, and also their calm and peacefulness. And a little distance away, you see a man in a suit of armor riding a horse, and you recognize him as the King of Coins you saw in the tarot cards. And he's looking into the distance at the sun setting over the mountains. And he picks up his didgeridoo and begins to play. Crest of the hill, not far from where the King of Coins is sitting on his horse. And now you can see what he is seeing. A waterfall into a deep lake, with beautiful, joyful water splashing and spilling all over the place, feeding the rich plant and animal life around it. And radiant mist rises up from the lake, which displays a full rainbow as the evening sun plays over it. In fact, it looks very much like the Ace of Cups the old woman showed you. And as you watch the waterfall pouring into the lake, you feel your whole body and mind again filling with that sparkling, playful blue joy, just as the waterfall fills the lake. And you see the King of Coins turn his head to you, and he waves to you and then rides off with his horse into the mountains. And as you look over to the side, you now notice a door there. So just go ahead and walk over to the door open it and walk through, and now you're back into the old hallway in that ancient building. And this time walk in the direction of your safe place. And as you walk down the hallway towards that safe, happy place, you feel changed by this tarot reading. More connected to the natural world, more peaceful, more at peace with the world. And you feel all the strength and power and compassion of the earth inside you, even as you feel full of the joyful love and beauty of the waterfall. And as you reach the door to your safe place, go ahead and walk through, take a seat again in this very comfortable, relaxing place. And just listen to the didgeridoos playing as you integrate what you've learned from the tarot card reading and gained from meeting the old woman and the king of coins. Still sitting in that very safe, relaxing, happy place. Just enjoying the feeling of it, just enjoying existing. Enjoying the pleasure and the wonder of just existing. And now, in just a few moments, we'll come back to the room. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. We might reach 1. We'll be back in the room feeling really wonderful, feeling great. Just 5. Just noticing the room, the people around you, but knowing you can take this peace with you. You can take this strength of the trees and the mountains with you and their calmness, their meditative nature. 4. Noticing the clothes you're wearing, the feel of the clothes on your skin. 3, feeling your feet on the floor, the chair or the floor beneath you. And but still feeling deeply calm, but you feel this great energy coming, a very great but focused and relaxed energy. And 2, eyes beginning to flutter open, and 1, eyes open back to the room, feeling absolutely wonderful, full of this very calm energy you can take with you in the day, the rest of the day, and just feeling great in the days ahead. So thank you all for coming. Thank you very much for coming. And that was the hypnosis. And now after the hypnosis, we do didgeridoo healings, which we basically have somebody come up to. This is all, of course, voluntary if you want to do this, but we have people come up to and sit on the chair in front of the room, and then Shunka will be playing the didgeridoo, and I'll be playing the didgeridoo, and we basically direct the force of the didgeridoo to wherever on your body you want it. A lot of people have the didgeridoo kind of blowing right at their heart chakra to open up energy there, but really anywhere you like is totally fine. Often what we'll do is Shunka will get on one side and I'll get on the other side, so you're kind of in the middle of the didgeridoo power. But that's up to you. Would anybody like to experience that?